If you have a hot tub with an S-Class spa pack, I'm going to show you everything I know on what to test, how to test it, how to remove this heat tube, and how to replace the element that's inside this one. Most of the S-Class will look like this. Some people might have this one here, but this is what typically people have. But I'm going to show you everything on this one. It's exactly the same, but I already took everything all apart. High limit, the heat tube. So we're going to move this one out of the way. And we got this one here. So even if you had the other one, you have to open up this door. Just to show you, I'm going to take this apart just so I can show you everything. I'm going to take this off. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the element, because you can't get an element with these leads stuck to it. You can't take them off. So I'll show you what to do to replace this. I'm going to disconnect the pressure switch. Okay, we're going to remove the pressure switch. If you're replacing the element, I would suggest to replace it with another pressure switch. Take this bolt off because we got to disconnect that ground. Now we got to disconnect these two leads from the circuit board. Need to keep those. Now, if you have the blue one, you just push out, you just grab it like this, use your thumbs, and it just unclicks like that. For this style here, we have to look on the sides here. So on either side, we got this right here. And another one right here. Same thing on the other side. The feet are not going to fall off like that. They're going to be connected to the bottom. What you would do is that the feet would be screwed like that, and you're going to have to lift this up. So that's going to drop out. And there's the heat tube. Now you'll have this heat tube, if you have that blue spa pack, you'll have it like this, if you have that style. Instead of buying this whole thing, we're going to disconnect this here. What we're going to do is cut the leads off. Here's our new one. Now this stuff here will be all in a little package. I'll show you really quickly here. Okay, so what you do is you'll get some O-rings and make sure that you put these on. You put some grease on it so they don't come off. So there's a little bit of grease on there from before. So you don't want those being pinched. Another thing too is our pressure switch. There's some gunk. Make sure that there's no gunky stuff. It's a little bit more difficult because other heat tubes, it's not indented like that. So when we go to push it in, these sit lower. So this has got to be pushed down a bit. It's kind of hard because it's kind of indented there. Now the trick is to try to keep that element straight. You don't want that element touching the sidewalls. So what I do is I put my hand here, because when I tighten it, my fingers are on this side, preventing it from turning like this. If I feel it pushing in, then I can put more pressure to kind of keep it straight. Because as you're tightening it, like I said, you'll feel it want to go right against your hand here. So you're just kind of holding it there about the center. There we go. There you go. Center. It's not touching anything. So once you get this on, we can put it on the feet. There we go. And that's our high limit. There's a little slot in there. We're gonna push it in. This is sort of a pain in the butt, this one here. So I'm just going to leave that one. That was a harder one to get to. Okay, so as long as we get this one tight, I'm not going to bother with the one in the back. The two screws on the side, I think for me would be fine. But this one here I could reach. So if you can't get it in, no big deal. Go. Like I said before, this is going to be screwed in the tub. The biggest thing is you got to get this up, and so this will drop down and you pull it out. The sides, I wouldn't worry about the ones in the back. Once you get them off, then that's fine. As long as the sides are tight right here, get those back on. Now for the leads, here's a little pack. So you want to make sure that on the circuit board, you want it to be not sideways at all. You want it straight up and down like that. Eventually. So now you'll feel it right away if it's cross-threading. You don't want the cross-threaded. So go on this side. Okay. Tight. We're gonna put her here. Let's put her ground down here. There we go. And now, this next part, it's pretty critical. You have to get a little wrench. And you hold this. There's a spot right here. So you're going to hold that. And we're going to give it a little tweak. Snug. Because if you don't have this, it's just going to twist that element. And you don't want that to break. Now the other style, we can put these wires here. Or you can get this style here. little bit shorter. So we'll try that. I like the shorter ones better. So I just put it loose. Okay, oh. Snug. I'll show you in a second here what they look like. So same thing, I gotta hold that and do this. As I tighten it. Oh. That's what it looks like. So either way, either one works. So you can use the wire or use the short one. Next, we're going to test the pumps or whatever you have here, ozonator. We're going to check the volts on that. You can also check the amperage also. But for this video, I'm gonna show you how to test what your low speed is for volts and your high speed, and what to test if you're unsure. Because if you look on the side, right there, what do you test? Right? The ones that are right here, crossways, those are always the ground. So crossways, center is ground, bottom left, ground, center is ground. We want to know what these other ones are. Now this one would be easy, so it'd be pump 2 or blower. So we just have to do our leads on that for the meter, and same as here. But if you have a third one like this, and you're going to test on the top side, if you push the top side and it's on low speed, you want to know where we're measuring here. We want the black and we want the white for low speed, and we want the white and the red for high speed. So if we're going to test the low speed volts and then push the button for high speed, make sure we got volts on both low speed and high speed. So I do is I get a meter. We just want it to beep. So if you have something that just beeps for continuity. So there we go. The battery's kind of going low, but that's continuity. So there's a circuit there. So for this one here, we're going to go on the top. So we know which one is which. On the top, so we're going to test, follow the black on the top one, follow it all the way back, which is right there on that relay right here. So we'll test that one first, see if the top is black. It is not. So we're going to test the red. Red's over here. Test the red. There we go. That's red. So red's the top. We'll go to the center. We'll see if it's white. Oh, white. We probably go ground for that. Let's go black. We're going to go black, see if it's black. Black's down here. Oh, there you go. So it's black, the second one. Next one is white. So it should be anything. So we're going to go here. Follow the white back. So it's white. So we got red, black, white. So red, high speed. Black, low speed. And then you got your neutral. Okay. So if you wanted to test low speed, you go neutral. And then you unplug it. Obviously, you're going to unplug it. You got to make sure if there's funny things going on, if you have to test your pump, say your pump's not working at all. So we want to test to make sure volts are going there. Instead of trying to, most tubs, you can't get to the back of the pumps. You normally want to get to the back of the pump, but we got to make sure that we got power going through, so we can test it right here. So if there's nothing, that's not a good sign. So we can test a fuse, or set, you know, if the pump's not working, we just want to make sure that we have volts. So low speed, so you just push the button and make sure that you have whatever your pump is. If it's 120 or 240 volts, that's what you should get. So here it's low speed. Hit the top side for low speed. You should have 240 volts if the pump is 240 volts. You put it on high speed, hit the button, put it on high speed, red, white. All the power from low speed should go to high speed, so it should be 240 volts. If you have it like this on high speed and you hit the button to click down to low speed, this should go to 0, that high speed, because all the power is going to go to the black and the white. So you click it, goes to 0 on low speed, and you go down and you have 240 volts. Same thing, push the button, go to high speed, this should go to 0 on low speed, go back up, high speed, 240. If you have a single speed, see, this is for 2-speed, so if you have a single speed, this is blower 2 or blower and pump 2. So all you have to do is, there's only one speed, push it. Do I have 240 volts? Yes or no? That's all you have. Same as ozonator. Most of the ozonators are 120 volts, but some are 240 volts. So you got to, whatever equipment you have, you got to look on it and see what the volts are. So I'm going to assume that it's going to be 120 volts, and we're going to test it there. Now, ozonator is not on all the time. You might have to turn the power off for a little bit, turn it back on, let it go through its programming, and ozonator should kick in after the programming. Now, for this one here in the back, I don't know which this one is. A little easier to test. So there's our white, there's our black. So I'm going to go here, black. Come on, go in there. So black, white, and whatever that is, I think it might be pump 3, and it should be 240 volts if the pump is 240 volts. What else? If you're testing volts coming in, I'm going to go red, white. So if you have 240 volts coming in from the house, so you go, let's say black, red, 240, white, red, 120, white, black, 120. Testing your fuses. So here we went continuity, testing your fuses. Click on, fuse is good. And power's off when you're doing this. Well, it's easier anyway. You could do it without it, but just turn the power off. You're going to test the fuses. So that's all good. All the fuses are good. Oh, there's a little one up here. That's good. Next thing, pressure switch. I love these, but they're a little pricey. They're easy to put in, especially if you have a Gecko spa pack. These are one of the smallest ones you can get, and the bigger ones kind of run into this part right in here, this little relay, and that's why you got to move this ground out of the way. Little ones you could get, there's so much room. So when you put them in, you just got to make sure that it's straight up and down, and you're not forcing it. You kind of, any pressure switch you're going to do, you're going to do very lightly, because it's plastic and the heat tube is stainless steel. So you can tell if it's cross-threading. See? Just really, you're not forcing it. It's a little tight. And put their leads on. So 1 and 2. Now we got to make sure that everything's plugged in. Say if you had a flow problem, FLO, FL, the best way of checking to see if it's your pressure switch that's the problem, or flow switch, but since we're talking about the S-Class spa pack, you're going to have a pressure switch. So what you're going to do is you're going to try to see if it's a flow problem and you can't figure out why. You're going to take the 2 leads off and you're going to jump that just for a little bit. So you're going to jump it across here, little wire, jump it across, wait a little bit, and you should hear a click. So the relay is clicking in. Now you don't want to do this very long. You just want to confirm that it's the pressure switch. So you want to jump that wire, wait until you click, look at your top side, make sure the flow's gone away. So if the flow has gone away, then you have to replace the pressure switch. Now the transformer doesn't really crap out that much, but it's something that maybe you can test. Say if you're testing stuff, you're trying to narrow everything down, maybe there's a problem. Now the number one spot you want to test on a transformer is just this wire here, if you have this type of pack. So the white, black. So if this transformer is 120 volts, you should have 120 volts. If it's 240 volts, you're going to have 240 volts. I think this one's 120 volts, just by the size of the wire. So 120 volts. Because normally they're on the side here. Lead there, and 120 volts. Now I think that's it for that. Really quickly, I'm going to show you how to get the heat tube back on if you have the one with the blue color. Now with the blue one, if you've changed the heater element, what you want to do is you want to turn it a bit, and you got to watch that high limit, make sure it stays there, and you want to line this up to there, and you want to just push, turn and push. So once you get this part right to the back, that's straight, both sides are clicked in, then you can do the same as the other one. This in there and put your ground. And that's it. If you have any other questions about the spa pack that you have or this S-Class, put it in the comments down below.